All right, good evening, everybody. Welcome to our reception for the June conference. You know, I know that it's obvious that we're working on getting a clear, significant, transparent price on carbon, but we're also at work on getting democracy to work the way that it should work. And the way it should work is a partnership between citizens and their elected officials. So one of the things that we like to do at this reception is we like to invite people who were on the Hill for the first time to share with us what that was like. And so if you're one of the people who would like to share what it was like for you being on the Hill today, if you could start lining up right over there where Brett Cease is, raise your hand, Brett. We want to give you a chance to share for a couple minutes. We do want you to keep having a chance to visit with people, but if you want to visit with people, if you could step outside of the room during the sharing, we would really appreciate that, because we do want people to be able to hear the people who are talking about what it was like being on the Hill. So if you want to continue your conversations, if you could either step just outside the room, what we'd like to do is invite some of the people who were on the Hill for the first time to talk about what that experience was like. And again, you can line up right over here. Okay, good. All right, here we go.
Thank you. All I did was walk up on stage. My name is Tom Wortman. I am here from Austin, Texas. I can't see hardly anything because there's lights shining in my eyes here. I joined CCL about 6 months ago. This is my first lobby day activity, and I had a couple of takeaways. The first takeaway was at the hometown to the house event, I stopped and I talked to Mark. And I thanked him for this organization, for his work, for all of his team, for all of the effort that they put into this. This is so much more, so much bigger, so much deeper and richer, so much more diverse than I ever imagined. And I'm so pleased to be here. My next takeaway was looking at the events that the organization put on and all of the diversity. And I had this absurdly simple epiphany that, you know what, I'm an old white guy that, you know, goes to business meetings and talks about economics and GDP and factory production. And yet at this event at CCL, we had that young woman who identified as queer. We had black people and people from Nigeria that I got to be friends with, David, who may be here. The diversity was extraordinary. Piper Christian blew me away. Right? I love Catherine Hayhoe. I've seen her before. She is fantastic. But Piper Christian just blew me away, and I just adore that young woman. She's going places. The next takeaway was at lunch today in Longworth. I was holding the table for my group before the next meeting, and there were people from ALS who needed a seat, so we shared. And I asked about ALS, and yes, that's Lou Gehrig disease, and they were there to lobby for money to support Lou Gehrig disease research, because nobody knows what causes it. And I asked the man what was what motivated you to be here, and he said, well, I have Lou Gehrig's disease, and he was my age, and he just got it, and he's got 3 years to live. And I was reminded of the movie that we saw on Saturday night with the asthma people, the children with asthma. And you know, we are here for a really, really important thing. And that really important thing could be next month, next year, next decade, next century. But when you have asthma, nothing else matters but this very second. When you have ALS, nothing else matters but the next couple of years. And as I thought about we're going to walk into our congressman's office and we're going to discuss climate change. And he just met with the ALS guys, and he just met with the asthma guys, and the gun rights guys, and the DACA guys. It's like, man, these guys have got a really tough job. That gave me a real appreciation for the people that we met with today. And so for me, I walk away being profoundly moved and very thankful to CCL. So thank you all.
Hello. My name is Teresa Vergano. I turned 18 today. It's my birthday. Eh. Wow. Never had that many people sing to me before. So the reason why I decided to come here on my birthday was because, you know, as a young person, I got a lot of skin in the game. Climate change, it's happening, it's real, and it's pretty scary. But coming here has given me a lot of hope that something will actually get done and the problem will be solved, because I know myself and a lot of people my age, we're all kind of skeptical. We kind of feel like the world's ending. But you guys make me feel like it won't end, so. And also, you know, I only joined CCL last Earth Day, so it's only been a couple months. And Carol and Tom just invited me to come on down here, and I was so surprised because I was like, you want me to come? I don't think I'm qualified, but it really has kind of restored my faith in democracy, that just like a regular kid like me can come down and talk to Congress people and their staff. So, yeah. So thank you guys for the opportunity. I'm having a great birthday.
Hello, everyone. This sounds so loud. Okay. All right. Well, my name is Kaylin McQuilkin, and I live in California. I live in a very small town near Yosemite National Park, and yeah. And so before coming here, I had always been very concerned about climate change because I can see the effects firsthand in my community, in the glaciers melting, the wildfires that are becoming more common, and the changing snow patterns. But I feel like coming to CCL taught me so many new things. I couldn't even begin to name all of them, which I'm so glad for. But I feel like the most important thing that I took away was this idea that climate change is an issue that can bring us all together. And no matter what your political ideology may be, it's a bridge between these two sides. And so, yeah. And so I'm very thankful for the way that CCL has reached out to all different types of people and is also working on its diversity. I feel like that's so important for us in this next generation. And so like in that sense, I feel that this disaster that we're in right now, it gives me hope in a way, because I feel like it's going to be the thing that unites us back together. And so coming from a younger person, I'm excited to see what the future holds, and I'm very thankful that I got to come here.
My name is Ryan Ruffner. I am from League City, Texas, and thank you. The best way to describe my experience on Capitol Hill today is from a book I read when I was just a little kid called The Teacher of the Black Lagoon. And what it is a young child is terrified of going to school, and he pictures his teacher as this monster with rotting fangs and a giant alligator mouth that eats children for breakfast. But when he actually meets the teacher, he finds out that not only is she not a monster, she's actually really cool and kind. And when I met with the representatives and the staff members of the representatives, it was a lot like that story. I found out that in my head, I had imagined them as being scary or intimidating, but they were in fact very receptive and welcoming. And I feel much more comfortable talking with them in the future, and I feel much more hopeful about our future and the impact that we can make. I also want to say that growing up, I was a huge lover of stories in every form, and one of the main things when I was growing up was I thought to myself, you know what, all these characters in these stories, Harry Potter and whatnot, they're all saving the world, and it would be really awesome if I had a chance to do that. And I think like most of us here, I thought I would never get that chance, but now the world truly is in danger, and we can step up to the plate and save it. We have the opportunity to be the heroes of our own stories and save the world. So thank you to CCL for coming to Texas, for uniting everyone across party lines, across gender, race, political ideology, religion, to save the world. Thank you.
Hi, my name's Evelyn. I'm from Lafayette, Louisiana, and as you may know, that's a tough one for CCLers. I've been part of their organization since 2016, which is the year the chapter started. And when I first walked up to that table and I saw the literature, I said, wow, this is what I've been looking for about 50 years. And it's perfect. But can I really do something with this? And then I got on the website and I saw, wow, there's all of these trainings. And then I finally got here and I found, wow, there's all these great people. And then I went to the offices and I met some really great staffers. And I'm just standing here going, wow. You folks are so great. And this has been one of the best experiences I've ever had because you all are family, and I really feel like I'm part of your family. And I think we can all do this together as a family. You know, families sometimes fight, but they always get it done. Thank you.
Today and this whole conference have been awesome! So I'm John. I'm from Upper Michigan. I'm 29. I've got a wife and 2 kids, and I've been on a quest for sustainability, like on this farm. And I peaked like lobbying in. When I was 18, I came here for PowerShift. They didn't have a plan like we do, and I got burnt out of it. Now I'm getting way back into it, and this is real quick. I was thinking about it, pacing around here, the bill, and like, how am I gonna put everything into this? And I ran into Mark Reynolds, and I shook his hand, and for the second time this conference so far. And I said, Mark, answer this policy question for me. And he was trying to get away. And he said, "Look, there's Danny Richter. Go." So CCL is just amazing. I love you guys. Thank you so much.
Hello, everyone. My name is Genevieve Wall, and today in the halls of the House Office Building, when I thought about Citizens Climate Lobby, what came to mind was the natural phenomenon of emergence. When you think of a school of fish darting and flashing in the water, that each individual fish inside that school of fish does not know what shapes the school is forming, does not know what's happening on the other end of the school. All they know is what the fish on either side of them is doing. And that gives them all the information they need in order to form a complicated, beautiful shape. An individual fish glittering in the open water is an easy target for the maws of a predator. But when you have many fish in a big flashing school, even if individual fishes get picked out here and there and swallowed and digested, the school lives on. Yeah. So I know many of you today may have left your meetings feeling very victorious, and some of you may have left feeling like you just escaped the maws of a predator. But whichever reality is yours, I know that the strength of Citizens Climate Lobby and the strength of the whole environmental movement is in our persistence. There are too many of us, and we are not giving up. And that is where our success is going to be. Thank you very much.
Hi, I'm Catherine from Seattle. I've had a great time here. One of the things I really love about CCL is the fact that I can just start up a conversation with people and discover that they're awesome. And so everybody has been really great. So thank you so much for you guys. And thank you so much to the CCL organization, because I waded through practically all of the podcasts and I felt super prepared for my meeting. And then my representative told me that I was helping to save the world, which is pretty awesome. So thanks so much to you guys.
I'm Rick Olson from Minnesota, a conservative Republican. Now, this obviously is the first convention that I've been to, because I just became aware of CCL after the first of the year. But I really want to thank you for making me feel welcome and part of the family. Now, this isn't the first time I've been concerned about the climate, but with CCL, it's the first time I've become aware of a truly conservative solution that together we can get done. You may not really realize or fully appreciate how fortunate we are to live in the United States and have the opportunity to petition our representatives and go talk to them like this. But we are so, so fortunate. But we've got to remember and value the values of CCL in being respectful and civil. We can get it done without arguing. So thanks a lot.
So I'm Sean Daig from Poughkeepsie, New York. Thank you. I just want to share a story from this morning. As we were leaving, there's a stream of CCL people heading out the lobby at 7 a.m. We get to the metro station. We're owning the metro stop. We are just a flow heading down. And as we're doing this, there was some people on the side that clearly wanted to get on. So I held back and waved them in. And this woman stood in front of me and she's like, there's clearly a lot of you here. What are you doing? And I said, we're going to Capitol Hill. We're going to lobby about climate. And she turned to me and said, thank you. My mother has had to install this whole pumping system in her house in Michigan to get the water out. Like, we need you. Thank you. And so I just wanted to share that with all of you. Thank you for having me a part of this.
Hi everyone, I'm Angelica from Chile, although I think many of you know me as the red-haired Chilean CCL. And just in case someone saw me this morning where I was located in the picture, now you know where you were. I wanted to thank from the bottom of my heart actually for all the love I've felt all these 3 days and the last week at the policy camp. This experience has been really wonderful, very enriching. I think you are all doing a great, marvelous job, guys, and that has inspired me so much. And I'm speaking now, I think, on behalf of my Latin American CCL friends. And we are all grateful, very grateful, and for sure we are all better people now once we are back in our countries. Thank you, guys. Don't give up. We can all do this together. Thank you.
Oh, yeah. Hi, everyone. My name's Tina, and I'm from the Dallas-Fort Worth area in Texas. To be honest, on my first meeting, I was terrified, and coming out of it, I was still terrified. Maybe because I only had 3 minutes left to run to another building. But something that I learned is that even if one meeting or one letter or one phone call isn't great because you slipped up, it's okay. Everyone, all stakeholders on all sides, backgrounds, on all parts of the aisle, understand that we're all human and we're not perfect. So that was nice. Even if you meet people who are socially awkward or look really socially smooth or maybe a little too aggressive, we're all here at CCL to work towards a common purpose to solve an all too common problem. And I'm happy to be a part of the CCL community, and I want to just say thanks.
Okay, hi, I'm Maddie. I'm from Ohio. I also live in Chicago. I'm studying mechanical engineering, about to go into my senior year. Oh, thanks. So I just want to start off by saying the last time I was this aware of my age was my 21st birthday. So, but this is a lot different of an experience. So in college, you kind of have a lot of thoughts of feeling lost and not really knowing your purpose, and you keep on making excuses to wait until you get into the real adult world to actually start making decisions and making a difference, and that is definitely a habit that I fell into. But it really wasn't until I met actually Henry Moss right there in the front, and he introduced me to CCL and what I could do and the importance of making my voice heard, that I really realized that I have a purpose today, right now, which is really cool. And in terms of lobbying, I think the most incredible feeling was how tangible what we are doing is. There's so many environmental causes and activism causes where you kind of feel like you're shouting into a void, but today, when you're lobbying, your shouts are actually heard. So, thank you.
Good evening. Good evening. So my name is Luke Hinkle, and I'm from Seattle, Washington. And I actually want to start off with some questions for y'all. So how many of y'all felt lots of joy this weekend? Raise your hands. Go ahead. Yeah. It's a couple of you. How many of y'all felt alive this weekend like you've never felt before? Nice. I like it. How many of y'all felt a lot of frustration this weekend? Yeah. Maybe some fear. Keep your hands up, yeah. How many of y'all felt like you crossed a bridge this weekend? Or today, maybe? All right, let's give a round of applause for that. How many of y'all felt like perhaps a bridge was crossed to you this weekend? Oh, yeah? How many of you haven't raised a hand yet? Go back to Thursday or Saturday, whenever we arrived, and do it again. I ask this because that's what all of this represents. I would have raised my hand every time. This weekend, I have felt, or this whole experience, today especially, I have felt every single one of those. I felt joy, I felt frustration, I felt alive, and I have felt so many bridges being crossed. Today, I feel like I crossed a lot of bridges. I have had so many people come to me talking. I've crossed just as many bridges as have been crossed to me. And I was able to talk to some family members because of this weekend that I haven't talked to about climate change this weekend, and really cross some bridges that are important to me in that regard. So this weekend has been just such an alive weekend, and I want to thank everyone who's been part of that, including the awesome teams that we had today that I was a part of, being able to lobby. So thank you to all of them. Thank you to the team leads. I am just so grateful for this chance and for their leadership, their guidance, and their support, because this is new for me to lobby on such a massive scale and to lobby with so many amazing congresspeople and a senator. And so I feel alive, and I hope each one of you do too. And if you haven't felt that way, go back and do this again. Come back in November. I don't know what to say to you other than that's what this is all about. We're alive, we're human, and the human experience is lots of joy and also lots of pain. And the climate experience that we're all going through is a lot of fear and a lot of pain, but also a lot of joy. Like somebody at the beginning said, this is a chance for us all to come together and cross so many bridges. And we heard that today all day in Congress and in the Senate. So I'm just so grateful, and I hope that all of us walk away feeling alive and are able to share that with other people. So thank you.
Hi there, I'm Karen Howe from Portland, Oregon. And I have some thanks to make. First to Luke for this morning suggesting that several of us attend there was a hearing this morning in the Budget Committee, and it was on the economic effects of climate change. And after the wonderful testimonies, the first speaker got up and looked at the room and looked at the back of the room and said, "No one ever comes to Budget Committee meetings." And then he said, "Look at this today. It's packed, and most of the people are young. That's what we're here for." I felt brave today, being up on this stage, but I got strength today from the teams I was in, and I particularly want to thank in the teams that I was in, Cody and Una and Julian and Cece, for being willing to hang around with a bunch of old folks like us to keep us on the right track for you. Thank you.
Hi, everyone. Jane Moffat. I'm from Toronto, Canada. Yes, and we do have carbon fee and dividend for the time being. And we're going to hold on to it come October, which is our election. You better believe it. So I have had an amazing time, and I had an amazing time on the Hill today. And that's all I'm going to say about that, because I don't have enough time to describe everything that I experienced, which was so enlightening. And what I do want to say, though, is that I'm thinking of the people that I know and the people that I don't know who aren't here. I'm a crier, by the way, so here I go. It just means I'm happy and excited. I have been around Citizens Climate Lobby for a very long time, and I was very afraid to get involved because I was afraid to take too close a look at what was going on with our planet, which is really hilarious because my wife has been a key member for like 10 years, and so she was talking about it all the time, but honestly, there were times when I was going, la, 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 la. And I just want to say how grateful I am that I'm here, and that I've made a decision very recently to stop being in the background serving cheese balls at Citizen Climate Lobby parties, and actually get myself to this conference in particular because I don't feel afraid in that same way. Yes, I'm concerned, I'm very concerned, but the more knowledge you have, the more you realize that you have power and that we all have power, and our power is in sharing, and our power is in our big open hearts, and there are just such beautiful open hearts in this community. And I'm going home with all of your wonderful open hearts as a part of mine now, and I feel ready to share more with the people who I would like to have in this organization as well. I hope that was coherent. I love you all. Thank you.
Good evening. I'm going to be completely honest with you. As of 15 minutes ago, I had no intentions of walking up here, so I've been kind of thrown up here. So just please bear with me. My name is Kelsey Grant, and I'm here representing the CU chapter from Boulder, Colorado. I just want to tell you a short story about how our chapter got to where we are today. So about 6 months ago, I started attending the meetings at my local city chapter in Boulder. They had a sheet listed with the committees that you could get involved in, and one of them said that they were hoping to form a university chapter. I thought that it was already formed, so I reached out to Donna, our faculty advisor, and asked her how I could be involved. She responded by saying that there is no CU chapter at our university. Why don't you just take the lead? And I was extremely nervous, but little did I know at the time that the agency and the trust that they placed in me and my peers to do what we wanted with our group was incredibly empowering and very moving. So 6 months ago, we had no chapter at our university, but over that 6 months, we have published several letters to the editor. We have lobbied. We have shown up to town halls. We have organized strikes. We've participated in strikes. We've attended other conferences. We've spoken on panels at other conferences, all in only 6 months. And I'm just here to show you who this group is and how proud I am of the people who are standing behind me, because they are the ones who made it all happen.
All right. My name is Alicia. I also go to the University of Colorado. I just wanted to say how impactful this conference has been on our group. We were actually talking at dinner the other night about how we have a new passion, new motivation to inspire our youth around Boulder. We are looking to work with a lot of the high schools and show them, our mission. And I think that this conference is a great gateway to get students to want to join. So thank you guys so much for the opportunity.
Hi guys. I know this has been said before, but about half a year ago, I was in one of my policy classes, and I heard one of my classmates go up to the front of the class and talk about a group of excellent people, and their very exciting and their very urgent mission. And she was just asking people to come to one meeting, and so I did. And then 5 months later, here I am with my friends in DC, talking to the people who run this country, and having a constructive dialogue about an issue that matters a lot to a lot of people. And so I think that's pretty cool.
My name is Jeffrey Moore. I'm a graduate student at CU Boulder. And like I've heard from a lot of you first-timers today, it's been a very nerve-wracking experience being prepared to go talk to your member of Congress on the Hill, and I was no exception. My nerves were shot all weekend, and I was prepared to go into this meeting with my member of Congress, and I'm trying to memorize, in my head, repeat over and over again what I'm going to say to him, and he walks in through the door. I take a big deep breath and immediately forget what I'm about to say to the guy. I barely get my name out, and he sits down with us, and one of the first things he says is like, "Oh, I'm so happy to see you guys. What are you guys doing tonight? What are you guys doing tonight? At 6 o'clock? Does that sound good?" And I was like, what's going on here? It's, and by the way, yeah, your bill, I'm sponsoring that, so you don't have to worry about that anymore. So. Co-sponsoring, yeah, you know what I mean. So my meeting went about as great as you could imagine it going, and I got my first name out in like a half utterance through my, anyway, it's, I'm sure that was not typical for many of you. But shortly after that, or rather a couple hours later, we expect to be meeting with one of his staffers to go on a tour of the Capitol building. And he came out to meet us himself and spent more than an hour with us tonight, just walking us through the Capitol building, telling us the history. It was one of the most wonderful experiences one could have as a first-time lobbyist in Washington, D.C. So, maybe, what am I trying to say other than to just brag, I guess? And the other meeting, it went okay. So, I just want to say how incredibly grateful I am to the CU Boulder chapter for sending me, and I think many of the other students on this stage here to DC to have this incredibly eye-opening experience. And I hope to come back, and I hope to, like he said, keep up with the activism because it makes a big difference. He wouldn't be on this bill, he wouldn't be co-sponsoring it if it wasn't for activists like everyone in this room. So thank you, CCL. Thank you.
Hi, I'm Sophia Mathur from Sudbury, Ontario, Canada. And who else here is from Canada? Lift up your hand. Woo! Good job. I'd like to thank all of you, each and every single one of you, for being here today because you are all making a difference. Think of what you've done in the last few days. It's amazing. So everyone just give the people around you, yourself, the person next to you, a round of applause.
My name is Jorge Martinez, you've already heard that, and I want to give you a few warnings. I'm really, really bad at this. I suck at it. My legs are shaking, even if you can't tell from the front. And somebody told me that people can't tell from the front yesterday. My voice will start breaking soon, because I will probably cry. I've cried at least twice a day since last Tuesday, one day before boot camp. 2 people offered me a drink earlier, I'm really regretting not saying yes to that. I want to thank CCL for having us here. In particular, I want to thank Tammy Kellogg and Kathy Orlando for making my trip here possible. Yeah, a hand for them. I traveled for a total of 46 hours to make it here. But I couldn't say no to Tammy and Cassie after all the effort they've put into bringing all of us here. I'm here because the CCL method works. Building relationships, working with people, and all that we're doing actually works. I'm speaking here, and I made it here because I'm convinced that with this methodology, we can do this. We will do this. I truly believe, after these past few days, that a long mark, we're all going to be part of the superhero team who will save this planet.
Hi, everybody. My name's Brianna. I am from Cincinnati, Ohio. I am a student at the University of Cincinnati. And in case you guys can't tell because I'm so youthful, I am actually a Marine Corps veteran. So, yeah. After getting out of the service, wanting to be a lifer, I realized that what am I going to do with my life? I had to rethink my whole life's goal. And I knew for a fact whatever I did had to serve the people and it had to serve the world. Because after you come from the Marine Corps, you can't go down from there. You got to go up, you know? I truly thought I would be rolling in the dirt until I was about 90 years old. But now I plan on rolling in the dirt doing environmental work, so it all worked out. I just want to thank you all for embracing me and bringing me into making this place such an inspiring place. The first day I came, I literally cried like 10 minutes in, and then the second day I cried about 5 minutes in. So I've literally been crying every single day. And honestly, it's just because I'm so inspired being around so many people who care about something that I care about. In my community, there's not many people that pay attention to environmental issues, mostly because we have a lot of other issues to worry about in our communities. And a lot of times it bothers me just because I know that sometimes it feels like I'm the only one. And you know how you get that depression about environmental solutions and you almost feel like there's nothing I can do. But then I came here and I saw all of you and I'm like, dang. All of you give me hope and you give me inspiration and you give me something to go back to my community and show them how important it is for us to get involved and be a part of the movement and have a seat at the table. And I just thank you all for embracing me and allowing me to speak my voice and allowing my voice to be heard and meaningful to you all. So just thank you for having me here and embracing me, and I love you guys.
Let me just adjust this here a little bit. This happens to me quite a lot. Good evening, everybody. My name is Carl Fields, and I'm from Racine, Wisconsin. Shout out to my people that came with me. I'm an organizer who's a program manager with a day shelter in Racine. As an impacted person, I also do the work firsthand because I'm ex-incarcerated. I spent 16 years in prison, not being cared about, not being thought about, not being preserved as a person, not being invested in to come back better. I stand in front of you here today because of the work that I did and people like me inside did, caring about the very things that we've talked about at this conference the last couple days. I say from the bottom of my heart that we need to listen when Dr. Ali speaks about the neighborhoods in Texas. Those impacted people are directly impacted by all the things that we've been talking about, the absolute worst. And they are bellwethers, they are birds in the coal mine. We all know this. We have to stop being cognitively dissident about all of this. We have to do this work. We have to go where the people are. We have to build relationships and then bring them into the work that we're talking about, because they've always been marginalized and we've always been pushed to the side. There's a culture there. Breaking all of this through policy is also breaking culture that we all know exists, and Dr. Mustafa spoke about that too. So I ask that you all go where the work is, where the people are living it. Do that courageous thing that society and media tells us not to, and bring those people into the work, because they are the ones living the work. Those neighborhoods are ground zero, and we all know it. Thank you.
Okay, we'll turn the music back on in a minute, but can we just give all those people a hand again for coming up there and sharing that with us?